You're awful. That is awful. There's gonna be little kids watching. What a role model. My hero.
We're gonna get an R rating anyway because of all the swearing.
That's true. There's gonna be a lot of nudity and swearing on your end, anyway.
I don't think you can show you can do nudity, not full on, not on YouTube.
Oh. No, I think you just have to put a what do they call those things? You have to enter your birth date. You have to prove that you're 18 or older or 21 or over, even though they have no way of confirming that, right? It's just for their liability purposes. All right, you ready to do this?
I am ready.
I am ready. Okay. Milviz. We have been very busy the last couple of years. The last time you all would have heard from us was, I believe we did that in the middle of the pandemic. Wasn't that back in 2020?
We're still in the middle of the pandemic, dude.
Yeah, well, lockdown
gone away.
Pandemic, right? I mean, well, in some countries, life has not gotten back to normal. At least here in California, and even more so in Florida, it's as if there was never a pandemic, except you see people walking around with masks on their faces, pretty much. But everything is open. So I'm trying to remember, what were we talking about in that last video? That was like supposed to be a big deal, and I don't even remember what we talked about in that. Do you even remember what that was?
We were talking about the Corsair.
Was that it? That whole video was about the Corsair?
Yeah. Well, we were releasing the Corsair. Jim was trying to fly it, but he couldn't get it. He couldn't get it working, and then you couldn't get it working, and then
you flew it in the live stream, and it was a disaster.
It was a disaster because I don't know how to fly, and so yeah, it was all over the place. Great product, looked fantastic, but yeah, I think I blew the engine like 6 times or something, and I was never able to I'm still not able to land it or even get it off. I can get it off the ground, but it's like, oh boy. Yeah, don't put me into planes and expect me to actually know what I'm doing, because I'm supposed to, right?
Yeah, but it makes for great entertainment, though.
It does.
It makes for great entertainment. Yeah, you are
entertaining. I'm entertaining, right? So, with my sunglasses, check it out.
I know. I see that.
Yeah.
So speaking of the Corsair, so far for MS 2020, we've put out the Corsair, we've put out the Porter.
Well, version part 1 of the Porter.
Stage 1.
So let's talk about actually that. So stage 2 of the Porter, which is the analog with the floats and all that stuff, is going to be released in Q2 of 2022. So we wanted to wait until Sobo has fixed water dynamics. We're hoping that they will actually be done with that soon. But either way, we're going to release for Q2. We expect to start showing pics of that fairly soon. Jim has been working on it night and day, every single day.
Jim's a rock star. Yeah.
Jim is a rock star. That's right. He's totally a rock star. And we expect to have pics of that fairly soon. We'll put them up. Our new social media person, Merlin, he will put them up and show them off and take questions and all that stuff. So we expect to have Tundra tires, regular wheels, and amphibian. We're not going to do straight floats. It's going to be an analog. It's going to have all the standard GTN GPS units that you can throw in there. And so that's coming Q2. And then we're also working on the Beaver, the DHC2, and with that, the DHC2T, the Turbo Beaver, the T-Beaver, as I call it. And shortly thereafter, the Otter and the Totter, the Turbo Otter. Those are all kind of going to happen in the same, hopefully, quarter. So I'm not going to give a quarter, but it'll be 2022. That's what we're expecting. We're not doing the Viking refits on any of the beavers or the otters. It's just a straight up analog. That's what it is. It's analog all the way. Then we have the Sky Raider. That's in final right now.
The Sky Raider screenshots look sick.
I know, she's hot, man.
She is hot.
That is one hot baby. Yeah, remember though, if you're gonna buy the Sky Raider, because it's got dangly weapon bits going off of it, you will not be able to get the weapons on the marketplace. You'll have to buy it direct from us, and that's the only way to get them. We haven't decided on pricing or an exact release date, but we expect it to be released Q1. We're hoping, so fingers crossed. It will not be available on the Xbox. None of our products will be available on the Xbox at this time because Microsoft and Asobo have not yet fixed the problem with WASM on the Xbox. So none of our products will work, and in fact, I believe no product that has WASM, and that includes anything by any of the other devs that use WASM, works. So we're stuck until they fix it. I don't know when that will be, but as soon as it is fixed, then all of our products will be rotated onto the Xbox without any hesitation. The choice isn't ours. So we do have a couple of other products. We have the Huey that we showed a picture of. We are actively working on that. And we have the SR, which we are also actively working on. And of course, the 310, which is looking fantastic as well. Dutch expects to have that one done Q1. We're hoping for Q1. Maybe the beginning of Q2. And the Huey will probably be Q3, Q4, depending upon how fast we can get the flight profile integrated, right? Because we're using a kind of a sort of similar system as the other helicopters that are in there. It's an external flight engine, but the problem with it is that Asobo doesn't allow us to turn off their flight stuff, which causes lots of grief. So we're hoping that we can convince them to actually participate in that. But so far, they've been unresponsive. So, we hope. And I'm not trying to be contentious, Jorg. I'm really not. All right? I'm really not trying to be contentious here. It's just, we've asked multiple times and gotten, no response. And so have other developers. They've also asked and no response. And that segues nicely into the ATR.
Right.
So, the ATR, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I think go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, look, we're still working on it. It's the part of the problem is that, we have a lot of contractual stuff that takes the high-level programmers away from stuff like the ATR. And, we have to do those contracts because we are, we signed, we have to deliver. So, the ATR is still moving ahead. We have shown pictures of it. It is not our intention to cease and desist on that. So we are still moving. We're still moving forward. We can't give a day. There's some things in MSFS that are not helpful, if you will, in programming a high level, study level product. It's just very difficult to do. There's a lot of things that we need to take into account. Number one of them is frame rates, and so when you have as much going on behind the scenes as you do in something like an ATR or a 737 NGX, there's a lot going on there. And if you want to put VR goggles on, you have to get between 45 and 60 frames per second in order to not do this.
Exactly. Not
Right.
having a slideshow in VR can be very nauseating and disorienting. I think it's also important to note that we don't share the same freedoms in MS 2020 as we do with P3D with regards to just being able to kind of quote unquote hack it however we want in order to get the best results we need out of it.
Right.
MS 2020 is locked down, and anything that we might try to hack could be an issue with getting things up on the store and so on and so forth. So we are playing in the Microsoft sandbox, and we have to play by their rules. So that means that the roadmap,
there's a lot of limitations.
There's a lot of limitations, and the roadmap that we set out over the course of the last several years of products that many of you have been waiting for, and I've seen many of the comments on our Facebook page. You guys promised this, and where is it? And you promised that, and where is it? And the thing to note is coding for MS 2020 means that many aircraft developers, it's not really the same with senior developers. For them, the transition was fairly simple. For aircraft developers, there's a lot more that's going on there, and having to kind of
in
switch.
some cases, there's a lot less, right? There's a lot less, and so we have to custom code a whole bunch of stuff that we never had to custom code. So, it's facile to say that, it's a new sim and it's brand new and it's got all these things, but the fact of the matter is it's missing a whole lot of stuff that P3D and X-Plane, for that matter, come with out of the box.
Right.
And one of those is a direct communication to the simulator through SimConnect and through X-Plane, whatever it is, I can't remember. But, through SimConnect, there's a ton of stuff that we could do. Now, in MSFS, there is SimConnect, but it is extremely limited. It's one way, two way sometimes, but it's one pipe only. In P3D, we can force feed whatever we want into P3D. We can force feed images, FLIR, camera, flight profiles, and we can get data back. We can, weapons, we can do all of those things, HUDs, SDS, weather, but we can't do that in MSFS. We are restricted to what they want to give us and what they want us to have.
Correct.
And so far, that's very limited. And so anyway, that's the state of the ATR. We're moving forward. Code is still ongoing on the FMS. We're probably going to redo the model because it's not good enough anymore. So we're looking at that. And actually, we're doing that with the Beaver too, and the Otter. Those are actually in the pipe already. I just want to touch base on the King Air, the King Air 350i in MSFS. We are seriously considering porting this, and we have done a couple of attempts, and it seems to port. There are going to be issues with it. We're looking at how we can do this and get good frame rates. But if we are able to do it, and of course the Evo and the Lear afterwards, we will not be able to put them on the marketplace because the only way to get the systems to work properly is to force feed the sim, and Microsoft won't allow us to do that. So not on their store, right? So it's unfortunate, but it's within the limitations of what we need to be able to do, and it's likely the ATR is going to fall under that same kind of situation. In order to get the best frame rates and the best quality, you won't be able to buy it on the store. You'll have to buy it directly from us or from a vendor. Correct. So yeah, are we going to talk about the branding?
In a second. I just wanted to touch quickly on the notion that whatever pipeline that you may have been used to as a customer of Milviz, that's pretty much out the window. We've really had to make some significant adjustments to our game plan in terms of the order of which we're able to release what. And so ultimately, the products that we just mentioned, these are things that are going to be the most simplistic to get into the sim fairly quickly. And by simplistic, there's still a lot of complexities there, but these are the products we can kind of get out the quickest. And so we've had to move our focus to those products. Products like the King Air, the ATR, these are much more complicated. You've got the Proline 21 system, all that stuff, and
the 132. It's in the same, it's the same.
Yeah.
Go on.
We don't want to put this stuff in and be half-ass about it, right? We want to stick to the level of quality and that threshold that has made our name known so well over the years. We want to be able to maintain that threshold, even moving into MSFS. So another thing that I've noticed on our Facebook pages, like for example, when we released the Porter, I think people were expecting that all of the digital avionics were going to be our homegrown avionics and not things used in the default simulator. But again, this goes back to what Colin says. To be able to do that, there's a lot of force feeding and a lot of complexities that make the development span longer and potentially prevents us from putting these things up on the store. So for those,
and honestly, in all honesty, doing a G1000. We have a G1000 that's 90% coated or 80% coated for P3D.
Yeah.
But there are severe limitations on bringing that over into MSFS. Number one is weather, right? At this time, there is no way to get weather in. And there's, not TCAS, TAWS, EGPWS, all of those things don't necessarily work as they are supposed to work in a G1000. And so, I'm not going to make comments about, the Nixie and how well that is moving forward. And that's why we used it, is because it's moving forward and we don't have to do it. And that also relates to the price, right? At $30, $29.99, that is way lower than what we normally would charge, right? And so the Porter is using default G1000s, but the rest of the systems are custom, right? So, and that's why it's so much fun to fly. I mean, sure, it uses spoilers, faked up spoilers to do the better range, but at least it does the better range, right? Unlike some other products that are supposed to do that, right? So, how we do it, the end result is how does it fly? How does it feel? And so that's what we're trying to do. And it is very difficult to do that for some of the higher end aircraft like the 130, the ATR, the King Air. We're trying to figure out how we can integrate all of those things, but we may not be able to. The FMS is relatively easy. The PL21 display stuff, that's relatively easy. But weather, TAWS Plus,
right,
up in the air, right? So we're not sure.
That you all know that, so that if you're wondering what's taking us so long, or why isn't this product getting out, or whatever the case is, this hopefully will give you a bit of an insight and understanding as to why you aren't seeing these things yet. Many of these projects, we're just kind of waiting and hoping that these capabilities will come from Microsoft and Asobo that will allow us to implement it the way that we would ideally like to do. As of now, it just really isn't. So hopefully that
it's not just it's not to say that we're waiting, because we're not actively waiting. I mean, the 130 is in code.
Yeah.
The 130, we have a contract with the Air Force to deliver a C-130. And so we're working on that. That's actively ongoing. The ATR, we're still working on it, on the FMS, and we're still working on fixing the bugs that we've run into. We have 3 ATR pilots who are assisting us on this, and so we're actively moving forward. We're just not ready.
Right. The C-130 does look good too. I don't think we can show it.
Yeah, no, we can't show it. We
Yeah.
can't show it. We can't show it. Plus, it looks good in P3D, and
Yeah.
that's the problem, right? It looks good in P3D, but when you take something that's in P3D at that level, in order to get those frame rates, you have to, cut corners.
Yeah.
But with the new engine in MSFS, we're all aware how good it looks and how bad stuff looks when you bring it direct from P3D, right?
Exactly.
So, this morning I actually spent an hour and a half going over the C130 with an eye to how much of this do we have to redo in order to bring it into MSFS? And the answer is, unfortunately, a lot, right? And it's the same with with all of the other stuff that we looked at the F4s; those are going to have to be repainted, and enhanced, if you will, on the model side. This is this is unfortunate, but it's the truth. It's not just a straight up port. So anybody who says to who mention this in forums or posts or whatever that Milviz is just porting their stuff, that is patently not true, right? Even the Corsair had to go through some pretty serious upgrading and up-resing, right? And we try to balance the dirt level with, and the textures and the quality with the expected frame rates for our products, right? That's, if we don't match, starts with a C, ends with an O, if we don't match their level of quality, we're beating them to death with systems, right? So, yeah, he's laughing, I don't want to mention Caronado. Oh. Oops. Anyway, shout out to those guys because their stuff always, even in P3D, it was beautiful. Like the best looking.
So beautiful.
Right? I mean, it was the best looking stuff. It still is. I mean, their stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
that looks amazing.
We've tried to poach them and just they don't listen to us. We tried to work with them, and remember that. Remember we tried to work.
There was
with
a
them
time that was like 3 years ago, 2019 or something.
Yeah, it was 3 years ago. Yeah,
back.
I sat down with them. I had coffee, and I was like, dudes, we should get together. You do the model, we'll do the systems. We'll all make a ton of money. All right. Anyway, okay, so let's move on to the next subject on our little very tiny list here, which is.
So over the course of the last couple of years, we have been significantly moving forward with the commercial side of the company and commercial/military. And the timing could not have been more perfect because in June of 2019, sales were doing fairly well for us, more or less. But once Microsoft made that big announcement back then, right after the Flight Sim Expo, things kind of took a turn for a number of developers. Some developers did well in the entertainment space. Others did not fare so well, and there's been a number of developers that I don't know if they've disappeared or if they're still around, but a number of developers have gone quiet. We've managed to chug our way through, but that's largely thanks to the commercial and military side of the company. So much so that the brand Milviz has become as popular around the Air Force as it has around the average enthusiast bedroom, if you will. So as a result of that, and as a result of the changes that has come with MS 2020, we've decided that now might be a good time to split the two companies. So as a result, one of the things that you will start to see over the next 2 to 4 weeks is a rebranding of the entertainment side of the company. So at some point, you're going to go to milviz.com, and it's going to be a completely different website with completely different products aimed at a completely different end user. things that you will not be able to buy. And the entertainment side of the company, yes. You will see them, you will be jealous, your mouth will water, and you can't have it. It's like that episode of Eric Cartman when he has his own theme parks. It's so great, but you can't come! You know, that's what it's going to be. The entertainment side of the company will have a completely new brand. We're not ready to discuss that yet. All of it is still kind of in the works. But once we get there, we'll probably do a launch party live stream or something like that. But just something for you to put in your... Yeah. Something to put into the back of your head that Milviz, as you know it, will not be the same in 2021. It will be a different brand. Same quality you expect, same development team, same people behind it, but just a different brand. The other thing I wanted to touch on too, Colin, that's not in our notes, sorry, is you might start to see Milviz 3D models popping up around the flight simulation arena. Some of you may have seen the news that our Bobcat went to the guys at Parallel 42. They are a great team, Kevin and Edson, and they've got another guy there working with him. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but great group of people. So they have the Bobcat, and they are bringing that into msfs 2020. I can't wait to see what they do with it. Some of our models might be popping up from other developers that you may know or may not yet know. So I just thought I'd throw that out there because we are licensing some things out. There's a number of models that we have, just like a huge stockpile. And as of now, I don't think we had any real plans to bring them to Flight Simulator. So we really want to encourage these up-and-coming developers who are getting into the space, and we think that that's something that could benefit everyone, us included, because we are always looking for talent. Right now we are aggressively looking for talent, and so if
model pink code, flight profile, if you do any of those things, give us a call. We are hiring. Work from home, good money, all kinds of fun. You get to play with toys for
a living, yeah.
You get to play with my beaver.
Oh, God.
What? It's true. What? Oh, you thought I was...
I was talking about the airplane. I don't know what you were talking about.
I was talking about the airplane, too. Can you put us on pause? Can you put us on pause for a second? Just pause us for a second.
Yeah.
Because I have to go pee. I'll be right back.
I'm totally keeping that in.
No, you're not.
Oh, he can hear me. Okay. Where were we? So the rebranding.
We had rebranding, yeah.
Yeah. So you can expect those changes coming soon. You'll start to see that stuff popping up in the next several weeks, and so just understand that's why. And we hope that when we go through this rebranding, that you still recognize us for who we are. We're still the same crazy folks, just different name, different look.
That's it.
Now,
different website.
Huh? Different website.
A different website. What the intention to do though is to avoid any kind of like you went to the wrong place. We're going to have link backs and and click backs for about 6 to 8 months, something like that, so that are you looking for this website? If you're looking for this, it's now that, right? So I'm not going to give the name away or anything, but so you will be able to find us. It just might mean 2 clicks rather than 1, right? But we do plan to advertise like the name and the rebranding everywhere we possibly can, so that word gets out. And if you're watching this, then it will be relatively easy for you to find us, because it will be announced and we'll talk about it, and we'll do a live stream and questions.
We'll have some fun. We'll have to show off some of the new stuff that we're working on, and maybe do a giveaway or something.
Oh, I love giveaways.
Okay. The 900-pound gorilla in the room.
Yeah.
And that's P3D and its future from an entertainment. Pete, first of all, You're not supposed to be using P3D for entertainment anyway, so I don't even know if, if I'm even supposed to say it that way. But nevertheless, for home academic use, there we go. P3D is still very prevalent in the commercial space, and we are very much developing for it, just as much, if not more so, than we are as we are with MS 2020. But for the home academic users, those sales have dropped off really significantly, so much so that it is no longer viable for us to continue working on products from it. Now, however, and I'll just be clear, from a personal end user perspective, it is still 90% of all the flying that I do personally. I still love it.
You're not alone. Most people
many people do.
I mean,
many people are using it in conjunction with MS 2020. Maybe they're trying to fill the void because the simulation experience is in P3D. The beautiful visuals, beautiful visuals are in MS 2020, right? So I imagine there are a number of people balancing out between those two. I even hear that X-Plane users has grown pretty significantly as well, but we're still not developing for it, so we're not going to even get into that. But
we're not touching X-Plane.
We're not touching X-Plane, but
no.
So for P3D, for those of you like me who still enjoy it and still use it and still have add-ons dating back several years that still work, that you don't want to get rid of, and you've probably put a lot of money into and all that stuff. That's great. And even for me, as still a flight simulation enthusiast, I still go no when I hear other developers saying, no, we're not doing P3D anymore, or you just see them quietly tapering off. But from the business perspective, in seeing things from both sides of the fence, I can't blame them for it. And that's kind of our 900-pound gorilla now is development for P3D, if it has been obvious for home academic use. That is officially done from us, and so we might as well just come out and say it in case anyone else was hoping that was still going to happen. What you might be wondering or concerned about is, will you still be able to buy products? Will you still be able to use and activate all of your existing products?
Hold on. I just like to touch on the whole P3D thing.
Sure.
Okay, so right now, the way sales, they've fallen off a cliff, right? I mean, they're, for all intents and purposes, gone. I mean, we sell maybe 2 products, 3 products a week. It's terrible. So for now, P3D development in the entertainment space or the academic space will end, right? But if Lockheed, pulls a rabbit out of the hat and shows P3D 6, which we know nothing about. Okay, we don't even know if there's going to be a P3D version 6, right? We don't know. But if it's as sexy as msfs, well, I think it can, we will definitely start looking at that as an open door to go and start development for P3D, or restart development for products that were starting in P3D, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So that door is not closed permanently, it's just closed for now.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Okay.
Thanks for clarifying that. It is closed for now.
Yeah.
What can people expect for those who have purchased our products? They want to ensure that they'll be able to reactivate them in the future when they have reinstalls, or for people who still want to buy our products in P3D?
Well, first we need to discuss what it is that we're going to do with the P3D product line, right? So this is the main reason we're doing this stream, this video, whatever, is to let you all know that from Monday morning, all of our P3D products will be 50% off. And that means that if you buy it, it's 50% less than it was when we put it on sale. So, and that's everything. That's the King Air, that's the Otter, Totter, Beaver, whatever is out there of our P3D products, they are 50% off. If you bought them in the past 15 to 30 days, you can get a 50% refund. All you have to do is ask Osh. That's only if you bought them direct from us. We are pulling all of our products from the vendor, all of our P3D products from all vendors with the exception of Orbix. Orbix will be the only company, only outside vendor other than us to sell our products. No more Sim Market, no more Just Flight. We're done. It's only Orbix. We will potentially look at the future for those products on other vendors, but for right now, it's only Orbix and us. Support. We are no longer providing support for any P3D product. It's done. We're done. And that's why it's 50% off, right? We are not able to bring any product that is not already in P3D version 5 into V5. That's just not going to happen. We are stopping development officially on all P3D products. And that includes updating and support. All that is done. We will leave the forums up. Even when we've rebranded, we will leave those forums up. And you will be able to, try and source help from other users.
Each other. Yeah.
Yeah, and support each other, right? I mean, most of the products now are pretty stable, with the exception of the WX, which unfortunately we can't fix. I wish we could, but Lockheed, in their infinite wisdom, put in a fix on their side that breaks the WX entirely, and we cannot recode it, unfortunately. So yeah, that's the deal. P3D done. P3D products 50% off, and if you want to buy them, go ahead.
When we launch the new entertainment website under the new branding, there will be a legacy section there where you'll be able to go and find all those products should you wish to continue to purchase them. So that's where they'll be, and whichever ones that are up on Orbix will still be there as well.
Right. But for now, our concentration in the consumer space is going to be on MSFS. That's where our concentration is going to be. And the intention is to bring as many of our, legacy, quote unquote, products into the fold over there as we can.
Yeah.
We are working actively to do just that. We have 20 plus people working on the model paint side to redux those models and bring them up to a standard that is close to Carinado.
We've seen some of the comments. Yours doesn't look as good as. So we're trying to get there. We're getting there.
we're trying to get there, but again, our focus is on a different thing, right? Our focus is our aircraft look used and they look beat up and they look worn, and the only way that we can do that is by using texture maps, and we want to limit the amount of texture maps. So our resolution is never going to be as good or as detailed as a company, be it Asobo, Aerosoft, whoever.
The showroom floor.
When they're using decals, right? We're just never going to be able to match that. But then they're never going to be able to match that, that dirt, right? That used, the graphite streaks on the flaps, and like oil and gas and footprints and handprints,
and I think that's what gives our products character.
That's it.
That's what makes them more real. Yeah.
Right. So it's not as it's not as high. It's not like every single rivet and and it's got 400 polys around it. We don't do that because it's too much, right? If we did it, your and all the systems, your system would go.
Yeah. Performance is always key.
Yeah, performance is key. This is one of the things that we've learned doing business with the military. The military industrial complex is that performance is key. If it looks great, that's nice, but if if it's 20 frames per second, it's a slideshow that doesn't work for them, right? They come back at us and they go, and we're like, so anyway, all this to say that at some point, we will be releasing products that have been made with MSFS in mind, rather than upgrading and updating our older product line, right? So we do have some products that are being made specifically for MSFS, and those are also in the pipe. Now, just to be clear, one of the most common themes that we see in our forums, in other forums, and in Facebook and Instagram and Reddit and whatever, is when we're mentioned is, oh, those guys, they've told us they're going to be doing this and that. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Well, you make it sound like we only have one team. That one team is doing one plane. That is not the case.
We have a big team.
It's not. Yeah, we've got like 11 teams.
Yeah. All
working on different aircraft. Okay, some of those are consumer products. They're for the military. They're for commercial entities. But we still have at least 5, maybe 6, depending, if you want to call a product that's going to be both.
Yeah.
So those teams are actively working all the time, So like Dutch is on the 310, and, when he's done the 310, he's going to switch to the SR-71, if the model's ready. And then we've got, Tomas is doing the Beaver, and we've got Jim who's working on something that we're not going to say. We're not going to say. You're going to love it, though, because it is. And that's one of the models that was actually done from scratch for MSFS. When you see it, you're going to flip, because it is stunning. And then we have the Sky Raider, which also, started life for P3D, and, we sold it for P3D, but it was super high res, and we didn't really need to do much, if anything, to bring it into MSFS and have it look good. And it looks stunning. It really does look stunning. And it's got all those, it's got the toilet. You gotta love it, right? Unfortunately, we have yet to figure out how to drop stuff off of an airplane in MSFS. As soon as we figure that out, and yes, we'll talk to SWS about it, because apparently they did it with their G91 or whatever it is. So, we'll talk to Alex and see if we can't borrow the code, because it would be nice to be able to drop that toilet, right? Along with everything else that's hanging on that plane, right? I mean, that plane was a bomb truck. I mean, so many different things you could put on that thing. Anyway, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
And that we're nearly done. We're nearly done with that one. So I think that's it. So sorry to see P3D, go for us, but there is one thing I needed to mention. Okay, so we sold 400 pre-order units of the King Air to people in P3D, and we made a promise to them that we would bring them the original King Air 300, 350, not with the Pro line, the analog version. We're not sure that we're going to be bringing that into MSFS, possibly, but we really do want to, try and keep our promise to those purchasers. So, in order to, try and fix that promise, or to cover that promise, if you are one of the pre-order purchases, one of those 400 people, and you're looking at MSFS and you want to get one of our products, we will give it to you for free. So just ask Osh, and Oshin, OISIN, at Milviz, MILVIZ.com, and he will assist you with that. If you want to get the Evo or any of the products that are in P3D, and you don't want to pay the 50%, whatever, ask Osh, and he will give you 2 of any one of those planes.
But they're still in development.
They're still in development, and we're still moving forward. I mean, the 130 is in development for commercial clients on the P3D side, and we are looking to port it over once it's done into MSFS. Right, that is our intention. When will that happen? Once we've delivered the P3D version, which again, I can't be specific about dates. But the intention is to do exactly that. So, and once it's done in P3D, porting it for something like the 130, it's relatively easy. There are some things that aren't going to be ported. Weather, right? SDS,
at least for now.
Stuff that we can't easily do. We are looking at our options for how to integrate those things into MSFS, but we don't have the same capabilities. Anyway, so that's it. Anything else, G?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, if any of you have any questions for us, I know this will be up on YouTube, this will be on our Facebook page, wherever the posts are. If you have questions about anything we've discussed, feel free to drop it in those respective chats, and we will do our best to go in and answer them. And we hope this gives you a little bit of insight in terms of where we are, what we're doing. Milviz is we're here, we're still actively here and working. Some big changes coming soon, so keep an eye on that. And that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. So that's it. So I'm actually going to take off my sunglasses because. No, I'm not going to take off the hat, because if I take off the hat, it's like
I should have put a hat on. I need a haircut.
You should always put a hat on.
Telling me, babe, you need to get your hair cut, and I'm just.
I don't say that. I don't say that.
I said she.
Oh, she.
You
yeah,
did mention Beaver, so you could have said that.
I did, yeah, and I was talking about mine too. There we go. Hey, it's a brand new world, right?
An average meeting is like Monday through Friday. It's 90% BS and 10% serious work. People are like, yeah, that's why you guys don't get anything out.
I try and limit those meetings because it does take a lot of time to joke around and mess around. But I think it's important, right, to make sure that you've
got to script it out.
People. Well, I think it's important that people, that the people that you work with have realized that you're part of a team, and that team isn't all about work, right? It's like it's a family, right? So. And we try to do that with our team as much as possible, is treat them like family. So, and that does mean berating them and locking them in the closet. Oh, wait.
By the way, you were asking me about these glasses, these gunners. If you pull up Fly Tampa Sydney, there's a billboard of my face in the scenery with the gunners.
No, with those glasses?
It is, and it says the man with the golden gunners, and I've got like the gun with the silencer on. It's like a 007 billboard. I won't say where it is, but it's in there somewhere at the Sydney airport.
Yeah. We should short aside, when D'André and I went to ITSEC in Florida, which pretends that there is no pandemic, right? I mean, like none. Yeah. It was amazing, right?
People in a room.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we went to this place to do machine gunning.
Should I superimpose the video up there?
Go right ahead, man.
Holy shit!
I was not expecting that.
Do the one where you're going. That was hilarious. The look on your face, man. Anyway, we had some fun. That's it. We did have some fun. Anyway, so listen, thank you very much for your time. We hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, we'll see you later.
We will see you later.
Okay.